It's the most idiotic thing.
Was that what made you unfollow us?
Yeah, exactly. Because I was just like, man, that's just the dumbest thing I've ever watched.
What's up, chat? Welcome back to the Casuals. Border-Gavaskar Trophy. India is up 1-0. But still a lot of questions to answer because there's a day and night game coming up. Pink ball test match, as they say now. A lot of questions about how Australia is going to return fire. Is the form of the Indian bowlers and Yashasvi Jaiswal, Kohli going to continue? And now that Rohit Sharma is back in the team, how's that going to affect the whole vibe and how we're going to play throughout the rest of the series? To answer these questions, we have a very special guest with us today. He has a popular sports channel called Sportify with PRG, where he discusses the biggest sports games and stories. Recently, he's interviewed some great guests, including Sanjay Manjrekar and Michael Vaughan, to name a few. And his content is more serious than ours, than the Casuals, but it's very informative and very enjoyable as well. So please welcome to the show, Mr. Pranav Gandhi.
Let's go. Let's go.
Guys.
How was that for an intro?
It's not bad.
Not bad.
No, I would have been more complimentary, but it's fine.
Okay,
I'll take it. So thanks, guys. Happy to be here. Like some of the stuff that you guys are doing. So
Just some.
just some. But yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for coming on. I want to say thanks for reaching out earlier, maybe 2 or 3 months ago. You reached out to our channel and we had a Google Meet call real quick. And you had some good advice for us and some good cautious, words to say as well while moving forward because we're a brand new show.
Yeah, I mean, I saw your reel showed up on my Insta feed, and whenever I see something interesting, I always reach out. So you guys definitely did something that caught my eye.
Awesome, man.
Now I've unfollowed you, so it doesn't matter. But
No retention.
but no.
What did we say to upset you?
So I know it was just always like to reach out to people who are doing interesting stuff, and glad to be here and glad to do something together.
For sure. So we've called you to discuss the next test match happening in Adelaide. I'll just give you an easy question to start with. Is this Australian team too nice?
No, I don't think so.
No, they aren't too nice.
I don't think they're too nice. Why would you say that? Where is that question come from?
I've just been hearing this from the Australian camp and the Australian media that this team compared to the previous teams are too friendly, have a good rapport with the Indian players, and they might not have the edge and the aggression that the teams of the past had.
So with regards to the good rapport with the Indian players, I mean, it's the IPL effect.
Yes.
Right? It's very simple. It's no rocket science.
Do you want to get paid?
What I'm saying, no, it's not even rocket science. What I'm saying is it's the IPL effect, right? No, I don't think it's that, what you're talking about. I don't think it's like I better not offend the Indian players because I won't get picked.
Yeah.
I think it's just that you spend so much time. You take a guy like David Warner, he's not playing, he's retired now, but he's embraced the Indian culture so much. So much.
So much that it's almost embarrassing for him.
I mean, he loves it.
No,
right?
it's great.
He loves it,
Yeah,
right?
it's
And
great.
I think you speak to any of the players. I mean, you mentioned I interviewed Michael Vaughan, right? Michael Vaughan's here. He didn't play in the IPL, but just loves the Indian culture, loves how much they love cricket. And so I think a lot of that has to do with the relationships in the locker room, spending 6 to 8 weeks together. You develop a bond where, that's just there. So I don't think they're too nice. And maybe we'll see another side of them going forward in the series.
Yeah, hopefully Labuschagne at least goes off because he's not playing in the IPL. He's not a T20 player at all. So maybe he gets back to his sledging
He's got to
best.
worry about his place in the side. I think it's unfortunate because he had such an incredible start to his career.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of his. I just
We
love
all
his
are.
attitude.
Yeah.
On this spot.
It's just unfortunate that he's going through this lean patch, but so I don't know if his sledging will come back. We have to see.
He's kind of taken some of the criticism of the other players who aren't doing so well. Steve Smith, Usman Khwaja. The top three basically is non-existent and has been for quite some tests. And him being like the front runner and not doing well has kind of hidden it.
Yeah, but I think his form has been worse than the others.
Yes,
but,
for sure.
Yeah, I think if you read the press since the last test, the entire Australian batting lineup has come under severe criticism. I mean, it's just come under the microscope, which it should. And let's see what they do because they're just woefully out of form.
But this Australian team specifically, whenever their backs are against the wall, Pat Cummins kind of pulls something out of the fire. We've seen it in the World Cup. We saw it in the World Test Championship earlier, and we've seen it in the Ashes as well. So going into this test match, it's going to be day and night. The conditions favor them. how do you think it's going to play out?
What's going to happen in the test match?
Are they gonna? Do you think they're gonna take advantage of the conditions, or is it ours? Is it ours to take advantage of?
Look, I don't think today you have to be prepared for whatever conditions you're playing in. Right? I understand we've played 4 pink ball tests. They've played 12 pink ball tests. So they have more experience. Obviously, Adelaide's a home ground. So the conditions are going to favor them always because they're at home. Right? It's how you use the conditions. And I think today what has happened, and we saw it in the New Zealand series, it's been neutralized in a lot of ways. Right? So I don't expect the Indian team to come in and say, oh, you know what, it's a pink ball test, so, let's just give it a shot and see what happens. Sorry, you better come prepared. Right? So I don't know if it's more of a conditions battle. I think now with the Australian team, it's got to be a belief and an attitude battle. Right? I think more than they've got to believe that they can win, they've got to believe that they can take on Bumrah. The amount of praise I've read of Bumrah from the Australian players is incredible.
And Kohli.
He deserves it.
And he deserves zero question that he deserves it, right? But to go back to your question about are they nice? In the past, before a series, there would be a few daggers thrown.
You know what one of them would be? Does Bumrah chuck?
Yeah, right. No, you're right. So there are daggers that are thrown before the series and through the series. And you very rarely see people praising another cricketer during the series. So you're seeing a lot more of that. But, I don't think... I think Australia's got bigger problems than to say they're going to come back and take advantage of the conditions and they're favoured in Adelaide. I think it's a battle where I wouldn't say they're favoured. I think going up 1-0 the way we went up 1-0, I think it's pretty even.
So you talked about Australia and what they need to do in this test, and no one really has an advantage. So India's up 1-0. Should we just go all guns blazing? Should we almost baseball and just play that game super freely, this pink ball match, this day and night?
I think we should play all games freely. I mean, I think that's why we won.
Okay.
Right? I think that's why we won. I think there was a belief system after we had that first innings. Obviously, it's all thanks to that captain, Jasprit Bumrah. I mean,
yes.
He just is next level, right? Next level in changing the match. We saw it in the T20 World Cup final. We saw it in this test match. It's next. But that belief where playing freely. And I think in the first innings, you could see a little bit of tightness. If you see the way Rahul batted in the second innings, you see the way Jaiswal to come back after a duck.
Yep.
To come and bat and play a few strokes. Kohli was getting his nick back, but then slowly you started seeing him play a few shots. So I think we should play freely in all the tests.
Okay.
Right? Because the minute you play tight in any sport, or the minute you start playing conservative, the other team has the advantage. That's my view, at least.
I completely agree with you. That's what I did. I was playing carom with my brother the other day, and instead of defending, I just went for the win, and it worked out sometimes. I agree that every sport in a certain way.
Have you conveyed that to Rohit Sharma and the rest?
He doesn't take my calls.
Okay.
So, what do you think? You mentioned Jasprit Bumrah's captaincy and us playing without any fear, any reservations. Does that change with Rohit Sharma coming in? Is Rohit Sharma that defining factor that changes our approach going into the second test match?
I don't think so.
No?
Because it's not like he's a captain we've not seen him for years. He's been the captain of this side for a few years now, right? He missed one test match. So does he change the approach? I don't think so. I don't think that.
And in fact, he plays more freely, almost carefree compared to the other players as well.
But his captaincy has been criticized, especially test captaincy. Are
you talking about criticize, or how does it change how we play? Right?
I'm
you talking about his captaincy, then you can debate whether...
I was talking about his captaincy, not the way he plays. I'm talking about his captaincy and his approach towards captaincy versus Bumrah's approach towards captaincy. Of course, we have a smaller sample side on Bumrah's side.
Yeah.
So you can't really compare, but just going off the first test, if we are going to take all the recency bias into account, I'm on Team Bumrah's side.
And also because Rohit kind of shit the bed against New Zealand. And India completely didn't.
Yeah.
So I think you answered your own question.
Yes.
Right? There isn't enough of a sample size. Right? I don't think there's enough sample size to judge whether Jasprit Bumrah is a better captain than Rohit Sharma. And the bottom line is, who cares? Rohit Sharma is the captain, right? So we're going to Jasprit Bumrah is not going to be the captain for the second test. So I think the point of debating, if you want to have a discussion of whether the captaincy should be taken away for future series, that's a separate question where... we'll see what happens after this test series, where Rohit's position in the team is, what the situation is. But for this series, we'll go with Rohit Sharma. We're going with Rohit Sharma. So I don't see it as a debate of we should let Jasprit be captain. That's not happening.
And on Rohit's side, do you think he's going to open or come
I don't think
load?
he's going to open.
Even I don't.
I don't think he's going to open, frankly.
Yeah.
I think, and you kind of like that attitude of Rohit Sharma's, right? Because there are a lot of cricketers who would say, sorry, that's my spot, right? And I don't care what you had a 200-run opening partnership in the second inning. I don't care. That's my spot. He does not come across as someone who has that attitude. No one really knows where he's going to play, right? But I don't see them breaking up. I'd be surprised if they break up KL, Rahul and Jaiswal. If Gill is back, I think Gill will be at 3 and Rohit will be after Kohli.
Yeah.
That's my view on what will happen. But again, I don't know if Gill is back or not. I can't find any information on
Same, even I couldn't, but I read something that in the nets, Rohit was coming alongside, I think, Nitish Kumar Reddy. That's what the pairing was with KL and Yashasvi opening.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's going to open.
Yeah.
I don't think so. And and that is something where you praise the captain. Like I talked about that attitude of what's beneficial for the team.
Yeah.
I don't own this spot. This spot belongs to India. It doesn't belong to Rohit Sharma.
Correct.
And that is something which you've got to praise the guy for.
He's also kind of having a rough time, so he better do that.
No, man, I don't agree with that. I think
He doesn't like Rohit.
You don't like Rohit?
I like Rohit. I just don't think he should be the captain of the test team.
Okay, fair enough. Who
Yeah.
would you have as the captain of the Test
Kohli
team?
or just Preet right now, just because, again, recency bias. But I love the team under Kohli. I love the approach. I loved how he changed everything.
But
of course,
he
there was a lot of...
himself kind of doesn't want it anymore. The
I don't know
captaincy,
about that.
right?
I think he was... I don't want to go into rumors, but he was...
Yeah, I mean, look, no one knows what happened.
Yeah.
Right? No one actually knows what
you
happened.
want to do fan fiction, we can do that.
No, not really. But yeah. But I mean, I think who the next captain will be after this series will determine whether who's there or not. But yeah, I mean, you got to give Rohit credit for that. There are a lot of selfish people out there, and I don't think he's one of them.
Can we... you mentioned the future captain. Can we get an early prediction from you on that?
Well, I think if it's not Rohit, it's going to be Bumrah.
Bumrah?
I think so.
100%.
What do you think Pant's chances are for test captaincy?
I don't think so at the moment. I don't think so at the moment because I think they would have made him vice captain if they felt, right? I think that's what the choice the selectors would have taken had they felt that he was there. So, I mean, I would say Bumrah.
Got it.
Who is gonna? So I think Padikkal will sit, right? Because Rohit's back, and because Gill is back, who's the next person?
Jarrell.
I think Jarrell.
Jarrell won't play, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes
So-
sense.
Is
Okay. We'll move on to the World Test Championship because all of these series are now leading to the goal of making it to the final and winning it. India have made it twice now and lost both in the final. Do you enjoy this format where they look forward to this one final match? The points actually mean something because it's a relatively new system that they set up. So do you like seeing that?
I love it. I frankly speaking, this is very sports geeky of me, but I actually had created a format relatively similar to this many years ago and saying, this is what it should be. Right?
1950s?
Listen, man, I don't, this is what I don't get. You'll invite someone to your show and then you call them old. I don't appreciate this whatsoever.
Wait, so Jay Shah didn't take your call either?
No, he didn't. No, so basically I love this because I think exactly what you said is you're working towards something, right? And what did not happen earlier is you had a series that was not connected to the next series. What happens now is what happens in one series makes a difference on your approach in the next series. And a great example is exactly what happened in New Zealand.
Correct.
With New Zealand and India, and how our approach is to go to into the Australian series.
Yeah.
So I think that's a very positive thing that has added. The other thing that the World Test Championship does is, if you look at their point system, it's 12 points for a win, 4 points for a draw. It incentivizes you to win test matches, which is result oriented. And that's a complaint that people had of test cricket, is you play for 5 days and you don't have a result. So this incentivizes that. And you care. For example, if India's 2-2, let's just say in this series, and the fifth test, they need to win. However it works out, they need to win, or they can play for a draw. They're going to go for the win,
Yeah.
right? Because they're like, who cares? Even if I lose the series, right? Who cares? I'm playing for the World Test Championship.
Right.
So I don't care about some random bilateral BGT. Okay, they'll have the trophy, but I'm looking at the bigger picture ahead.
Yeah.
So that's something that it did. And the third thing I think it did, which wasn't there earlier, was, I'm following the South Africa-Sri Lanka series like a hawk.
Yes.
Because that matters to us now.
So it's exactly right. And you saw it, you didn't see it in the first WTC because I think people were kind of understanding it, saw it a little more in the second. And this year, as soon as we lost to New Zealand, there are 20 articles with calculations on how we can make it, right? And fans know this. So it's very engaging. It's result oriented. Okay, I'll tell you guys something I read. 2024, 45 test matches played. How many were draws?
0? I can't remember the time.
Not India. I'm talking about test cricket. 40.
Okay.
We didn't play 45 test matches.
Yeah, I was like, I
in
can't remember
2024. Not India. You know, there are other countries also play cricket, bro.
Which ones?
So 2024, 45 test matches. How many draws do you think
I'm
there were?
guessing 6.
Okay.
I still go with 0.
0, really?
Yeah, I'll go with 0.
Well, okay. I mean, you obviously are figuring out why I'm asking this question. But what would be your actual guess? Because the answer is 1.
1.
One test match out of 45 was a draw, and that was a rain-impacted match, right? So you're seeing results come out. You're seeing, I mean, there are a lot of other factors besides WTC, but I think Test cricket's had a great year.
Yeah, I think so as well. And like you said, the whole draw thing makes sense to everyone. You want to stay tuned in for a result. And as a team, you want to play for the result as well, because 12 to 4 points is a massive difference.
Yeah, I mean, I love the World Test Championship. Obviously, I think they'll keep improving it every year. But, I mean, I think it's fantastic.
It doesn't help the fact that the captain of the English team comes out and just lashes out against the point system, though. I think they need to figure that bit out a little bit.
Listen,
percentages.
these things, yeah, but you know, here's the thing, right? This is new. Like I mean, you have to see every year there will be progress. Every year there'll be rules, changes, and some will work, some won't work, right? But I think the bigger, and it's fine to lash out at a concept you don't agree with. It's okay. That doesn't make it you right and that concept wrong, or maybe you're right and they'll change it.
You're too diplomatic, Pranav.
No, why is that? Why is that
you have to come on the casuals and take one stance.
But I absolutely think you're going to keep changing, right?
Yeah.
I took a stance. I said, I said it's amazing that Rohit Sharma did that. As much as you hate him, So I mean, I think it's great.
And do you think? So I guess we got your answer about, like, you think WTC in itself has managed to drum up interest. It's not just because India has been doing well in it.
No, so WTC I think is one of the factors. There are multiple other factors. I mean, I think number one is obviously the impact of T20 cricket has changed and creating more results and the way people play. And people have talked about that to death, so I'm not going to talk about that. The other thing is also the approach towards Test cricket has evolved a little bit. I remember when Ravi Shastri came on as coach and Virat was captain at the time, there were a couple of Test matches where traditionally India would have probably gone for the draw, where he said, I'm sorry, we're playing to win.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yep.
Baseball has come up as a concept in the last few years and it's been positive for England, it's been negative for England, it's worked both ways. I'm not talking about whether baseball is good or bad. I'm just talking about it's changed the approach to the game, which has impacted the viewership of Test cricket. India doing well obviously helps. But I'm saying I don't think it's just WTC. I think there are multiple other factors that have impacted the game, and they're making result-oriented wickets now.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of the wickets at times were not result-oriented, which, frankly speaking, it's just does make the game interesting.
What do you think about baseball? You brought up baseball. Of course, it's entertaining to watch, but the results for England have been all over the place. So do you think it's a strategy that other teams should adopt as well to approach Test cricket, or is it just you just like to see one team do it?
So I don't think there's a single strategy for a single Test match, right? I don't believe that, this is how we're going to play. We don't care about the conditions. We don't care about the situation. We don't care about that.
Conditions keep changing from day to day.
And that's what England is doing.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, but I think they
in
learned,
a way.
But I think they learned from that, right? Because they saw it work very well. And so they said, wow, this is a dream, right? And then they saw it not work well. And they said, what the hell are we doing?
And then they play in the Aussie wicketkeeper.
That was rubbish. He was definitely, I had no issue with that.
But it works well, it doesn't work well, and then it works well again.
Yeah.
So it's always like that.
But that's what I'm saying. You're asking me my view on baseball is I don't think there's a uniform strategy to play a Test match.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're saying this is the only way we play, I don't know if that'll work for you results-wise. So.
But it is fun to watch, so we'll give them that, at least.
Very entertaining, yeah. We'll go back to the Indian squad. There are a few senior players in the team: Rohit, Virat, Jadeja, Ashwin. So we saw Rohit, Virat, and Jadeja retire after the T20 World Cup win. You think India has the squad in T20? I do think we have enough replacements and guys who can really perform. But in Test, do you think we have the strength of the squad that can replace these 4 major guys?
I think there is a lot of depth in Indian cricket. Now, we're talking about R. Ashwin, who's one of our greatest all-rounders of all time.
Absolutely.
We're talking about Virat Kohli, who's one of our great batsmen.
Correct.
So we're talking about replacing 2 pretty heavyweights, right? They're 2 heavyweights in the sport of cricket.
Jadeja as well.
Heavyweight.
Jadeja as well.
Yeah.
If you're saying heavyweight, you got to bring up Rohit.
Quite literally.
No pun intended there, right? No, so if you're talking about that, I think, look, we have the depth. Who those people are, you have to give them chances and see what it is. But listen, man, the graveyards are filled of irreplaceable people.
Right.
They're full of
Correct.
irreplaceable people. No one could replace Sunil Gavaskar. Sachin Tendulkar came. No one could replace Sachin Tendulkar.
Who's Sunil Gavaskar?
Man, you guys, I swear, as much as you're making fun of my age, this is what actually, I tell you what, I am definitely older than you guys. I hate your generation. Right? And I hate your generation. I know you're kidding about Sunil Gavaskar, but there is just, and I'm not talking about you two guys, I don't know you well enough, but there's such a lack. I do trivias on Spotify, right? Every day there's a daily trivia.
Yeah.
Every time
We follow you, so we know.
Yeah. Every
I
time
answered.
there is a question that is a little bit historical related, and I'll happily share the stats with you. It's wild how people get it wrong. It's shockingly sad.
I'm a beast at trivia, so I would actually be really good at
I would
it.
start looking for your name.
I'm a outlier in
Okay,
our generation that you speak of.
But yeah, Gavaskar is the guy who's the trophy they're playing. Border-Gavaskar.
That's the Gavaskar. So, where were we? What was the question?
We're talking about the replacements in the squad for the legends.
So, I forgot what was my train of thought. Totally forgot.
Pretty young to have Alzheimer's,
I like that fire. Finally, we're seeing some fire from got it out of him.
Man, your generation is really tough.
We were talking about how Kohli, Jadeja, Ashwin and Rohit, can they be replaced in the Test squad? And he said obviously not directly, but there are plenty of players in the Indian.
I mean, look, you always have transitions. You always have this. You've got to find, you've got to find the right people. Happens with trial and error. Sometimes it happens right away. You take a guy like Jaiswal, who's had a very good start to his career, right? We haven't had a opening batter. It's still early. He's only played 15 tests. Don't want to say any more than that, but he's had a good start. So, I mean, you have people that come in and play well. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone in any sport is irreplaceable.
So, segueing off that and seeing Yashasvi Jaiswal's great performance in the first test, having witnessed Sunil Gavaskar's career, Sachin Tendulkar, and now Virat Kohli, and their journey to stardom, do you think Jaiswal has that in him to reach that level?
Don't do it, man. Don't do it. don't fall that media trap that every Tom, Dick and Harry does, right?
Are we going to see
Is he the
him?
next Sachin? Is he the next Ronaldo? Is he the next Messi? You guys are idiots, right? Because it's seriously like that you're comparing a guy who's played 15 test matches to a guy who's played 200 test matches.
Yeah.
You compare a guy who's played 15 test matches, a guy who's played 119 test
guy
matches.
who's 200 years old.
Right?
That's Gavaskar.
Right? You guys, let me tell you something about Gavaskar. All right, let me tell you. Firstly, he retired when I was still very young.
He made how much? 27 and 300 balls, basketball.
Let me tell you something. You ask anyone, any all-time cricket team, right? All-time of the world.
We're kidding. Sunil Gavaskar.
No, I know. But like
Old
Virat
senile
Kohli will
man.
not be in that team.
Yeah.
He won't even be in the top 15, right? But Sunil Gavaskar will be the opening man. I'm just getting your generation on right. That's why I called you idiots also openly. No, but jokes apart, I think don't do this comparison because it's, you know what? You can't compare anything, right? Because this guy's 22 years old. We haven't seen him, how he handles an injury. We haven't seen how he handles a bad set of forms. We haven't seen what he does when his fame and fortune and commercial attachments get in the way, right? What made Sachin, I mean, no one has had more commercial stuff than Sachin, right? Is he had the managers who separated it and said, you go play cricket. I'll handle this stuff for you, right? So you don't know whether Jaiswal can actually be at that level I mean, we don't know. We'll have to see. So compare him to Sachin Tendulkar. I mean, it's a bit out of whack,
I just want to
man.
see him in an MRF bat ASAP. That 150 would have looked much better in an MRF.
Why you
bat.
work for MRF?
No, I just like how it looks.
Okay.
It's our generation.
Nice.
Generational gap.
That's the most random thing I've ever heard. I'd like to see him in an MRF bat. Most random thing I've heard.
Don't you think it looks good though? It's like one of the most satisfying things
really-
to.
It's an iconic bat.
Yeah, it's an iconic bat.
Sachin, Virat, Gambhir, Rohit Sharma.
No Sharma Siya.
He used to be.
He used to be
all four
at
of
some
those
point.
guys.
Even Shikhar Dhawan.
Correct.
See, you don't know this trivia.
I don't
You
even
don't know this trivia.
Yeah,
This generation.
Yeah, really. We actually just know sport.
Okay, we'll move on to the prediction for this next day and night test plus the rest of the series. What do you think? How do you think it's going to play out?
Ooh.
Next test, Hazelwood is out. Marsh has an injury.
Yeah. I think we win this next test. For the series, I mean, after what happened in the first test, I think we win it 3-1. And it's
That-
completely off to my
That was
prediction.
my prediction.
Yeah.
What
that
I
was-
thought before the series, I had it the other way. But after what
What a
happened...
traitor.
But yeah, how can you do
Yeah.
that?
I just did. I mean, I can change my mind.
And then you're screaming at us for
Yeah.
not knowing Sunil Gavaskar.
At least we're patriotic.
Yeah,
We
I
love
saw
our
the crap
country.
you guys did. I saw the crap you did about
Gambhir.
Gambhir being a hypocrite. It's the most idiotic thing I've ever seen in my life. It's the most idiotic thing.
Was that what made you unfollow us?
Yeah, exactly. Because I was just like, man, that's just the dumbest thing I've ever watched.
What did you say exactly?
That
to
he is
them?
a hypocrite.
In what regard? Oh, because he was criticizing, and now when he's getting criticized.
Exactly. He is. You don't think he is an hypocrite?
No, I don't think he's a hypocrite. I think the smartest people in the world, when you talked about them saying they don't need a foreign coach, right? 'Cause
Yes,
that's one of the points.
yeah.
And then he's bought in 2 foreign players.
Exactly.
Right? I think the smartest people in the world don't have a problem changing their mind. If they feel it's beneficial for the
Sure.
team, that doesn't make them a hypocrite.
But he is
right?
a
If you
hypocrite.
feel,
He
if you
is a
feel,
hy- I mean, it
if you
doesn't
feel
change
that, hey,
the fact
listen,
that he's a
I don't think you
hypocrite.
need foreign. No, it's not a hypocrite. So that way, anyone who changes their mind is a hypocrite.
I mean, if you're coming out in the media and saying one thing and then you switch right
What's wrong?
after you're in
Man,
the
it
power
takes
the benefit
position.
of the
It takes
team,
a
you
lot
should
of guts to
switch.
say, you know what, I was wrong, and I'm hiring 2 foreign people.
And then what about like criticizing Sunil Gavaskar, one of your role models, for one of those pan masala ads, and then he himself is going. I love betting, by the way, but he himself is going and promoting things that harmly affect the youth.
But that's
as well.
his view, no? So what difference does
It
it
does-
make?
No,
but it
for
doesn't.
calling him a hypocrite, that's the definition.
Yeah, that's
right?
a definition of a
You
hypocrite.
shouldn't promote things that harm other people, and he did something like
No.
that.
Yeah.
Hold on. Firstly, I don't know about the ad thing. I don't even know, so I can't even comment on it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
finally
Okay?
that
But
really
you're talking
excellent.
about the foreign. You're talking about the foreign coach thing was idiotic. sorry to say, but it was.
You have to give an idiot counter for how many times he says
Yeah, it's
that.
just yeah.
Okay, so 3-1 the series, and we're gonna win the next one as
Yeah.
well, starting
Yeah,
on Friday.
I think so.
Yeah, I think we might lose the next one.
Anti-patriot.
Pink ball, too much pink ball.
Okay, we'll move on to the IPL. The mega auction.
Anything
has,
else you want to discuss on
about
the
BGT?
test front? No, that's about it.
Okay, IPL mega auction has just ended. What is your favorite IPL team?
Oh, I would say Mumbai Indians just for
Okay,
the
good.
from
Thank
Mumbai,
God.
Great, yeah.
Thank
Thank
God.
you.
Yeah, I hate it when people from Bombay say
Any other team?
or any other team. Yeah, I mean, once we've got a local team, we should support it, right?
We have Mumbai City FC for football.
But
and
like,
all. Okay, how do you like the IPL? Started in 2008 when you were growing up.
he was
wasn't-
old already back then.
It never
I was.
it never existed. The impact of IPL on India, Indian cricketers, and the world.
Yeah, guys, it's not just cricket. IPL is the single greatest thing that has happened to cricket, that has happened to Indian cricket and to Indian sports. Not cricket, right? Just Indian sports.
Correct.
It exposed this country and on the privatization of sports in terms of leagues, franchises, realization that you can make money in sports, which has led to investments, which has led to development, which has led to finding talent.
Which has made something like this possible, what we do.
This is quite crappy what you guys do, to be honest with you, right? But it's I think it's the
What did he
greatest thing.
say when he walked in? What a nice setup.
What a great
Yeah,
setup.
that's not on film. That's not on film. So there's no evidence of that. But yeah, it's. I think it's the greatest thing to happen in Indian sports.
Yeah, I agree. We thoroughly enjoy the IPL. Doesn't matter who's playing. 2 games a day. We watch it, support it, and obviously Mumbai is doing well, so that helps being a Mumbai citizen. We'll go on to the Mumbai captaincy conundrum.
Yeah.
We have 4 captains on the squad right now.
Yes, shit, I forgot about the
4.
4th one.
Rohit Sharma, Hardik Pandya, Surya Kumar Yadav, and Jasprit Bumrah.
Future Test captain.
They are captains in different formats and have been. Do you think that creates an issue like it did last year a little bit?
So last year I think was an anomaly, right? I think it happened out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Right? Hardik Pandya's trade happens 5 days after we lose the World Cup final. He's announced as captain maybe a month or so later. I don't remember the exact dates. And it came out of nowhere, right? And look, that World Cup final crushed a lot of people, especially our captain at that point. I mean, you could see the emotion on Rohit's face. I mean, it's just a crushing defeat, I think, for everyone.
Yeah.
And you have this happen, and it left, I was surprised actually at the fans that, I understand you boo, but it just went on and on the whole season. So I think last year's season was an anomaly. A positive thing has happened since then. We won the T20 World Cup where Rohit was captain. Hardik bowled the last over.
Sky took the catch.
Right? So, I mean...
Everything is Mumbai.
It actually... And Bumrah did the breakthrough.
Yes.
Right? He turned the match with
and
that
he gave
one
us the
over.
best moment from Siraj.
Right? No, and
They should change the name to India Mumbai.
So I think that that creates a lot of camaraderie when you're in a winning situation. I feel it would be resolved by this year, whatever animosity and tension there was. If there is, I mean, we've got a winning squad.
That is an amazing reel. He did this, that. Surya took the catch. Perfect.
Guys, if we were just doing reels, then I would have told me, right? I would have scripted this whole interview differently.
We've also fired Mark Boucher, so see how things shape up for this year.
Who is the head coach? Jayawardene?
Jayawardene, yeah. And he's done well with the team before.
Yeah, I like him. I really like him. He's got a very good way of handling things.
Yeah. Finally, then moving on to RCB. Big move. They've let go of Siraj, who was the face of the franchise, very beloved by all the fans. And they've gone
He's
for...
not the face of the franchise. The face of the franchise, Virat Kohli. Bro.
One of the
Virat,
faces.
De Villiers, Gale.
But De Villiers and all have gone, right?
Siraj is not the face of RCB.
He was the face of the bowling attack.
I don't know what websites... Anyways, go on.
He was a fan favorite.
He's not the face of a franchise.
Fan favorite is way different.
He's a,
Like,
okay,
what
face,
have you all invited me for, man? Who is this guy, yeah? I mean,
First
at
face
least I've got
Virat.
some level of intelligence on my left.
Face Virat, and he's the second face. Okay, second face of the
Yeah.
challenge.
Okay, so yeah, they let go of Siraj.
Yeah, and they went for Bhuvi this time. A very
Yeah.
different approach with Bhuvi more technical. Do you think that helps Bangalore going forward? Because they've struggled on their bowling attack in the previous years, and it's kind of cost them a lot.
Oh, 17 years, bro. They've struggled with this. I don't know if it helps them or not. If you ask me, would I have Bhuvi at 10.75, I think he went for, and I think Siraj went for 12.25, something like that, around those numbers. And I think Hazelwood went for 12 and a half. I mean,
something like that.
Give or take a little bit.
Yeah.
I would pick Siraj out of the three. And over Hazelwood. Oh, Hazelwood did really well for them in 2022.
You'd pick Siraj over
Both of them, if I could, not 2 versus 1.
Yeah.
But I would pick him over both of them. Having said that, Hazelwood did really well for RCB in 2022. I think he had some 20 odd wickets. 23, I don't think he played much. So he's done well. So they have a history with him. But I would take Siraj over Bhuvi. I mean, he's just playing a lot more cricket. Right?
Yeah.
I don't think it's because he'll be the face of the franchise.
Second face.
Yeah, the second. Yeah, but I would
face of the bowling attack.
I
Second
would
face of the franchise.
I would probably have picked him. Yeah.
Got it. And then finally, Shreyas Iyer. All the hype. Most expensive.
26.75.
Yeah, most expensive player.
That's going to be tough, man.
Yeah.
And that's going to be. I'll tell you why. Because look, he led KKR to a championship. Punjab is single-handedly the most dysfunctional franchise in the IPL.
We saw what Glenn Maxwell came out and said about that.
It is a complete circus in that franchise. And it has been, and there's no signs of it changing. So the challenge here is not just he has to bat well. That's one thing where he has to bat well. To lead that franchise is not easy, right? So, and the thing is, if you're scoring runs, it helps. Even if you're not winning. in a way, right? It's a little bit saying, okay, but I'm at least worth a little bit of what I. But if the team's not winning and he's also struggling for form, then he becomes the bust of this year's auction. So I'm not saying he's going to. We'll never know, but till the IPL. But that's a tough ask. At that price tag, it's a tough ask.
Last year he didn't really bat well, but the team did amazing and they won it all.
And KKR is one of the best run franchises in the IPL. Venki Mysore, who's the MD of that franchise, is just brilliant on the way he's run it for years. And when he came in, changed the franchise. So
I thought it was all Gambhir.
No, Gambhir is been a good manager for them. He has,
Mentor,
I'm saying Venki Mysore over the years.
He has, yes.
Right.
He's just very, very sound in the way he's planning. And works out. Sometimes it doesn't work out, but he's on the ball.
And then we'll go on to the last player who also had an MRF back in the day. Prithvi Shaw. Fall from grace.
Oh, man.
What happened? What went wrong?
Look, firstly,
Besides his hair.
Look, firstly, if you are 25 years and a professional cricketer and you are not bid for by an IPL franchise, you have hit rock bottom. Right? He has been dropped from the Mumbai Ranji team. He's playing for Mumbai in the Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy. He made 2 ducks in his last 4 or 5 innings. But look, this didn't surprise me at all. Okay, I would have been surprised if someone bought him. Right? Because if you have a 75 lakh base price and you're a franchise owner, you want to gamble on someone who's got fitness issues, discipline issues, attitude issues? No, I would not do it. So it's really sad. And what's sad is his legacy today is... It's not even sad anymore. It kind of was a given. But his legacy today, unfortunately for him, is if you're talking to young athletes, kids, this is what you don't want to be.
Our generation.
Right? Our gen, yeah.
This is what you don't want to be. You guys are his age. So not your generation. Right? You're a 25.
Oh, okay.
He's 25.
He's talking to people younger
Even
than
younger.
us.
25, right?
Nidesh.
If you're talking to, not even him, you're talking about 12-year-olds. This is what you don't want to be. That's his legacy right now.
It's sad.
Kevin Peterson actually put out a great tweet. Like 25 is not too old to turn your life around. You may have problems, but
I thought you were going to be like, you can.
Because I think you're below rock bottom, bro. You are below rock bottom, right? But 25 is not too old for this kid to get his life in order, to get his fitness in order. But it starts with attitude. It starts with attitude, and there's nothing more than that will get him on the right track. Do I think he will? No, but I would love for me to be wrong.
Yeah, underdog story. I guess now.
No, it's a comeback story. It's not even underdog.
Now,
it's a comeback story. Yeah.
The face of the comeback story.
Anytime you want to do a show with me, anytime you want to do a show with me, you give me a call.
I will.
And I will.
Sounds
right? I
good.
have just one condition.
Yes. Done.
I want to counter on idiot and the amount of times he just shaking his head.
In disappointment.
In disappointment, disagreement.
No, it's actually not disappointment. It's
what am I doing?
Like, man, you were right. This guy is an idiot.
He will also have a comeback story.
Comeback story. But I'll be the second face.
Anything
That's about
else?
it. Yeah. You have anything else you want to talk about?
No, man, I want to get out of here as soon as I can. This has been a horrible experience.
Go follow Spotify on Instagram.
Spotify with PRG.
Spotify with PRG. What is the YouTube handle exactly?
Spotify with PRG.
Spotify with PRG on YouTube as well. Like and subscribe. Thank you so much for giving us your time.
Thanks, guys. Fun
Great
chat.
content, great interviews.
Yes.
Trivia is off the charts. So check that out.
Yeah, now we are fighting for our generation, so better get those answers
and
correct.
turn up.
Yes.
And obviously, thank you for watching.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you
Pleasure being
Thank you so much.
with you on this chat.
Thank you so much. Like and subscribe, guys. Thank you.